focus, boy, you crazy.
And we're back.
We're getting really good at that.
Yeah, I really nailed that back. I yelled that one.
We start off hot. People's ears are exploding right off the bat.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh.
What's up?
Oh, no, I gotta mute
Your computer just go off?
It did. It's
well, you ruined the whole thing.
We're gonna restart the whole thing.
God damn it.
I'm kidding. We don't have to do it.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're watching on video, we continue to mess with how the video looks. So
we are working with $0.00 of funding money because nobody knows how to support local artists.
Oh my god.
I'm joking.
Just kidding.
We have to put matters into our own hands, fund our own stuff. So yeah, we are playing with different angles. We're a bit closer and personal this time around.
If you didn't know, we use a webcam to record instead of a camera because we don't have a camera that can record for as long as we talk.
Yeah, we talk for an hour. My camera records 30 minutes. I was like, why? But the camera said, because. And that's where we're at now. So it's just
You're sounding good today, man.
I'm sounding real good.
You're sounding real good today.
You too.
Thank you.
Did you do vocal warm-ups?
No. And I honestly...
that type of stuff?
No. I used to do them, like, for shows and stuff. I feel like a lot of young actors never understand the benefit of that.
Young actors. They
never
train their voice.
And I was one of them. You know, like, when you're going through school at the beginning, like, your professors are like, hey, you should, like, stretch before shows, you should warm up your body, you should warm up your voice, all this. And you're like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
That takes extra time, I'm not going to do that.
Did Chris Farley do that? And they were like, yeah, actually,
yeah,
he probably did.
And then you go, like, I think the first time that really changed it for me, well, I don't know why we're talking about vocal warm-up so much, but when I worked at ISF, it was an outdoor theater.
You had to project.
And, like, planes would fly over at random times, cars would drive by, we would have, like, fire engines go by at times, and, like, obviously at those moments you hold the show because you can't hear anything. Right. But there's, like, cicadas at the end of the summer, you know, it's an outdoor theater, you have to project.
You gotta outshine the birds.
And it's really hard. You're just going to kill your voice if you don't warm it up before those kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I did vocal warm-ups was last year for a comedy show, and we just learned how to do different songs, basically. Like, one of the songs were many mumbling mice.
Yeah,
you know that
making
shit.
midnight music in the mood.
Yeah, but then you have to do it in, like,
yeah, it goes faster and faster.
With the T's
with many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty, many mumbling mice.
Yeah, the scale up, constantly going to different registers.
And who thought they were going to hear that today?
Many mumbling mice. You're going to be
didn't.
thinking about that all goddamn day.
Sorry. You know, if you ever did choir, you're welcome.
You know it. This is a traditional choir technique. This is something that's traditional? Because I thought she was just full of crap, making up a song for all of us.
That's one I remember from, like, elementary, like, doing choir in elementary school.
Oh, cool. So we have an elementary school curriculum. That's good to know. As we're training, professionals training, we're doing elementary school. The
nice thing about vocal warm-ups is they never get
change.
more mature. I mean, sometimes you, like, change the words to be, like, really messed up stuff when you're an adult.
Yesterday, I bought coffee in the morning. I did that. Yeah.
We probably need to start getting into our words sooner, but here's a thought. You ever think about how weird it is that sometimes you choose to swear and sometimes you don't choose to swear?
Yeah, I think it's a choice.
Like, I just said messed up stuff. And
you could have said that
other
F
phrase,
word.
Yeah, I could have said effed up S, you know?
But I don't know.
And why am I censoring myself? Because we swear on this podcast all the time.
Sometimes you can.
Hey, if you think I'm cool for talking about censoring myself, let me know.
Honestly, we need to do that more. I think I actively get into a pattern of speaking where I do add curse words, maybe depending on who I'm around, or sometimes I just fall into a trap where I end up saying it, and it's not for any real reason. It's just to add it because I'm thinking of another word. I'm like, effing, pumpkin spice. That's what I'm thinking of. And I just end up saying it. I don't know.
There's something interesting about language where it's about, especially curse words, where...
we quoted that.
Yeah. I don't know. They add a lot of emotion to things. They're oftentimes very percussive words.
But when they used properly,
like, they can enhance comedy, they can enhance drama. Like, what they do is really interesting.
In some
and that's
cases,
a nerdy
though,
way of looking at cursing.
No, definitely.
It's also very human. Like, I remember I went to this movie. You remember this movie, A Star Is Born?
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper says "fuck" like over 100 times in that movie, like just all the time.
Yeah, it's conversational. Maybe it's part of his character. It adds to several things.
We left that. I went and saw that movie with my parents and my sister.
Ooh.
Who's my sister's 7 years young. She's a sophomore in high school now.
Yeah, what a movie to see with the family, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was one where I was really wanting to see it because it was like a more artistic, like it was going to be an Oscar movie. Yeah. I was really excited. It looked beautiful. I was really excited to see it. I was like, I really want you guys to come see this with me. It's a movie that I think will be good, and I like showing them things that I think are good, like any human does.
And Gaga's a star in it. You gotta go see
so
Gaga.
But we left that, and one of the first things my family said, something they mentioned the swearing, like, oh, one of the takeaways, Tessa, we want you to have is that nobody talks like that. And I was like, that people do talk like that. Yeah. I don't think I ever swear to that degree. But, like, in high school, I was close. You know, when you first start swearing, and you're like, oh, I need to swear to be cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which isn't true.
I mean, you get a couple meatballs from New York City together, and they'll be like, fucking Jamuka, fucking...
everything is...
Oh, yeah. But that's truly how some people speak, though. Mm-hmm. It's like a filler word when you're searching for other things to say, and it becomes a pattern. And I think that it can be overused, especially comedically. Yeah. Like, if you like hope to use the F word to enhance a joke, you need to start rewriting, my man. You got to reframe the way you speak.
I think it can add a lot to it.
It can, but you can overuse it.
If you know when to use it.
You can overuse those words. But I love how we're talking about words and we haven't even gotten
our
word yet.
I had another thought, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about swearing enough already.
No, what was your thought? Do you remember?
What was it? Oh, I think it's interesting because a lot of times when I'm angry, I try not to use. I feel like sometimes it takes, unless you're writing something and it's like, oh, I'm performing an angry moment and I want this word now. I feel like if you let your emotions get the better of you in like an argument or something like that, and you start just flying off the handle, I think it weakens your position. Where it's like it's to double-sided
because it looks
coin.
Like you lost composure. It looks like you're totally going off the rails. Yeah. You're like, I don't care anymore.
But it's a double-sided coin where it can also be passion and like all of these other things.
Right.
So
right.
It's an interesting, let us know let us know what you think about swearing.
In the comments below, how do you feel about it? Do you use it in your everyday life? Do you not? We know thousands of people tune into this, so just let us know.
Dude,
Stop hiding from us.
I've only said the F word once around my family, and I'll never forget it.
They let you have it? They were like, how dare you?
No, we were playing cards on a family vacation, and we were joking about another thing that had happened like on a different break while me and my brother were home from college. And like small anecdote, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I would tell you, but it's not going to end up being a small anecdote. But anyways, I just like flew off the handle, and I just didn't censor myself because I normally censor myself around my family.
Right. As one does. Yeah. It's a respect thing, I think.
Because my family doesn't swear as much.
Yeah.
If at all.
Nor does mine. My dad swears a bit. My mom is kind of clean. My grandparents really clean. And if I say the F-bomb in front of my grandparents, it gets quiet.
Yeah. And so I said, I was like, you fucking did this. And I think my dad goes, that's what happens when you swear like that every day. And I was like, oh no. And my sister was like, oh. Dude, it was
all
crazy.
The cards, you have to play 52 pickup after that because the cards are everywhere.
Yeah.
Drinks are spilled.
But how about we get a word?
Let's do it.
Not.
What's
K-N-O-T.
I was about to say, what's with the one syllable?
Yeah, we've been getting some short words recently. I want some big words, I want something meaty.
Give me like testosterone. Give me something with lots of syllables.
Yeah. Did you ever learn kinds of knots?
I was gonna ask you that question. No, I actually didn't do any of that stuff. There were friends of mine that were Boy Scouts and stuff, so they learned how to do specific knots. And this is a sailor's knot, and this is a Snickers knot. This is a
Snickers knot.
I'm just making them up. I have no idea what the actual knots are, but we have Google. So
I've learned knots at 2 different points in my life, and I don't think I really remember any of them. When I was in fourth 4th grade, I decided I wanted to join Cub Scouts / Boy Scouts. I hadn't before then, and it was actually called Weebelows at that time. You remember that name?
Weebelows.
Yeah, it was like you were a Cub Scout, and then you like there was these like
I never did it.
You went
so
through ranks. It was like Cub Scout, and then like shit like Wolf Scout. Like there were as you got older, you were different things, and then Weebelows was right before Boy Scouts, and I joined at that point, and I had to do everything. Like I had to. You needed a certain number of badges and things to become a Boy
work
Scout.
Your way up, yeah. You have to.
And
get
so
up the
I
ranks.
had to do it in like under a year, while everybody had been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, And I remember knots was kind of a part of that, I think, but I don't remember from that. Ironically, I became a Boy Scout, and then I quit being a Boy Scout because the older kids would swear on the trips, and it made me uncomfortable.
I can't take this. I can't take
it made
this.
Me uncomfortable because at that point I was a
letting
nerd.
It fly. Yeah. I get you. I never even wanted to do that stuff. I was kind of a homebody to begin with, and I enjoyed spending time with my family.
That contributed to it.
I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to be out of the house. Both my parents don't work full-time jobs, so like there's always a parent home that I can hang with.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm there alone waiting to do something, so let's just become a Boy Scout. I don't know. But I looked up different types of knots. We have a bowline knot. What do you think a bowline knot consists of?
Am I not supposed to look up knots right now?
If you want to, we could both look at the same thing. Different types of knots. There's the 2 half hitches, the clove hitch, a reef knot, a sheet band.
See, I could probably do a reef knot.
Oh, you're just humble bragging about your abilities now.
I could do a half hitch.
I could do a single Windsor. I know how to tie a sweet
Dude,
tie.
I haven't tied a tie in a minute.
My
I guess
dad-
the staff show.
It's a
that was the
true-
first time though in like half a year.
Really? It's
Yeah.
a true father-son moment when your dad is like right behind you. He's like, so this is what you do here. You do like the one wrap around here, then you go in, tie the bunny ears around, boom, single Windsor. Did your dad ever teach you that
I guess
way?
I never had a father.
Really? Did your
trying to
dad
think of when
teach you this way, or did he teach you where he's like, come on, like a ghost pottery moment where he went around you?
I think my dad just tied the tie on himself first
and then
gave
loosened
to
it,
me.
gave you the loose tie, then you went.
And then I just figured it
finished
out
the job.
eventually. Yeah.
I ended up, when I was here in Chicago, I had to tie my tie more than I usually did for some odd reason. I guess I was trying to apply for jobs and be professional or something. And I ended up, referring to YouTube. And there's always like some guy on YouTube that's like, so here's how you do it on yourself, and we're gonna go through it together.
Did you ever know those guys that went over the top and did crazy knots? I feel like my brother did that.
Where it just isn't a tie anymore, and it's just a friggin'
It's like a
rubber
crazy
band
shit up
ball
here,
on the I like the fancy tie, like the bolo ties, like a tie like right here.
You belong in the Wild West.
I love it. Give me a shoestring tie and a.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching Jojo Rabbit. And in it, the kid doesn't know how to tie his own shoes. How crazy is the process of learning to tie your shoes as a kid? I mean, not crazy at all.
How wild is that?
But think about the fact that you didn't know how to tie your shoe.
Yeah, that sucks.
I guess think about the fact that you didn't know how to do anything.
From the movie Big Daddy is where I learned how to tie my shoe. You loop-de, you swoop-de, and you pull.
Your parents never taught you like the
They
rabbit
definitely
hole
taught
shit?
me too. They taught me like.
And you take the rabbit, and he goes around the hole. And
I didn't do the rabbit hole. They weren't doing any sort of analogies. They were just like, listen, here's the strings. You make 2 loop-des, and then you put it around right through.
I was kind of panicking a little bit, thinking about, what if I have kids someday, and how will I teach them to tie their shoes? I don't know if I could teach them to tie their shoes.
It's funny because like that's probably one of the first challenges. Like not one of the first, but there's plenty of challenges as a parent before that moment.
Having the kid,
right? Oh man, funding the baby, making sure it has a healthy life up to the shoe tying moment.
Nah, I'm gonna be absent until shoe tying, and then we're in the clear.
All right, kids, we're gonna tackle shoes today. It's like you weren't even around until now, Dad. I can talk full sentences. I don't know. I feel like I would just initially be like, it's easy. Just do this, 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 and this. And they're like, I did not follow. So you have to, maybe we create a song, get creative, use our creative energies to make a
maybe
fun
we'll make a sketch in the next couple of weeks so that when we're fathers.
A shoe. Yeah.
That was a good song.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. That's a hit right there.
Okay, I went a different route. And when you mentioned I belong in a Western, what are the things that roll along? You know, when it's like Tumbleweeds. I was thinking Dust Bowl. Two totally different things. Oh man, a tumbleweed goes by.
The Dust Bowl is a very different thing.
Dust Bowl.
Wow. The Dust Bowl is part of the Great Depression.
Yeah, a lot of people were having mayonnaise sandwiches back then.
You ever had a mayonnaise sandwich?
Oh yeah, I was inebriated, but I definitely had a mayonnaise sandwich nonetheless. There's nothing in my fridge.
You eat some really messed up stuff when you're drunk.
Oh yeah, you're like, I think Cheetos and peanut butter would be a good combo, and then you give it a try, and you're like, no, it was awful. Why did I do that? You're almost tying a mental knot.
Right.
You're like, I'm trying to tie these two foods together to see if they'd complement each other.
The best part about drinking, like in college...
I thought you were about to be like, the best part about getting drunk.
No, well, I mean, yes, but the best part about drinking is the fact that you should coat your stomach with something greasy beforehand, so it's an excuse to eat fast food.
Oh, before and after. You have to be like, I have to prime myself for drinking.
And you gotta soak it up.
Then you have, at the very end of the night, you gotta have some 2 a.m. pizza.
Yeah.
Just finish the job. You're like, this will prevent me from being hungover. I'm actually helping myself by doing this. Yeah. The stuff you convince yourself to do when you're drunk is great. Yeah. Good times.
Reminisce. Oh,
I know. I'm like an old man now. I'm in bed by 11. Yeah, you came to hang out yesterday, and I'm like, I'm getting sleepy. And it was 11 p.m.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm calling it quits, man.
Calling it quits on life?
Yeah.
I'm quarter life crisis. It's happening for me.
I was trying to think of the last time that I really... Because now... Because like in college, I drank more, so, you know, you build up a tolerance. But now I don't really drink.
One single shift drink, I'm on my ass. I'm not lying. I'm like, woo, feel good.
It was so funny. My brother turned 21, and I didn't know if he was gonna drink or not, because he was the kind of kid growing up that drank like a shit ton of Mountain Dew. Like he would just pound soda,
just gaining gamer fuel.
Yeah, and I mean I would too, but not as much as he did. Like I was more of like a root beer person.
Did you have soda all the time growing up? Was soda a big thing?
I mean,
pop?
Not all the time. Yeah, we called it pop. I didn't start calling it soda until I went to college and came to Illinois. But at home I call it pop. I call it pop a lot still. And then people are like, okay, you're a psychopath.
No, I mean, I go to like any little fast food joint here, like a mom and pop fast food. It's like can of pop.
Yeah,
pop is a thing. I didn't know how much of a thing it was till I moved over here.
Yeah, but he drank that a lot, and my parents would always be like, "Hey, don't drink," because he had drank Mountain Dew like it's crazy. Like he's shotgunned Mountain Dew before, you know.
His blood sugar,
which sounds like
through
terrible.
the roof. Yeah,
and then he'll go through a period where he doesn't drink it at all. Like, he's, like, kind of ripped now.
Oh, so
or at least he was. I think he started drinking pop again and has, like, relaxed a little bit, and he's...
The gut comes back when the pop gets back.
Everybody talks about how my brother's hotter than me, and, it really builds self-esteem, you know? It really helps.
But who's cooler?
Probably him.
No, don't say that.
I also maintain...
You have glasses right now. You're immediately cooler.
That's true.
Yeah.
And clear glasses.
And we have a podcast. That's cooler.
Maybe we'll just keep texting him, hey, spread the podcast around your college, man.
Right.
We'll get in with the college crowd.
Hey, what if every single person you recommend will shotgun a Mountain Dew every single person you recommend?
Right.
Yeah, so we'll have to just shotgun tons of soda.
I do maintain that I love my brother a lot. I think he's incredibly talented.
I love your brother too.
And yeah.
I haven't met him yet, but I hear good things.
I maintain that if he decided to perform, like, he's an incredibly funny guy. Now, obviously we fight sometimes, but like when we're together, like it's really, we've gotten to the age where we'll do bits together and stuff. I think he'd probably be a better performer than I am, and I think that I'm a good performer. I think that I'm good at acting
toward it,
and I'm
he's
good.
Not though.
I think I'm funny and stuff like that. I think he'd be funnier. I think he'd be a better performer.
But does this scare the shit out of him to get on stage?
I don't think it scares him. Like, he was doing, he never did it in high school or anything like that. But he has, like he's done improv at the camp he works at sometimes, you know.
Right,
like,
so he has some experience with it.
Yeah.
Like, on the other hand, my little brother and I, we've been doing bits for a while, but he likes to just say the most inappropriate possible thing in the time frame, and he is hilarious in that way. But I think he suffers from stage fright. I think he would be he has a different perspective and a better point of view than I do getting on stage.
Right.
So I agree with you there, where it's like, I think my little brother would actually be a kick-ass performer, but he's hinted at wanting to do stuff, but then it never follows through.
Well, it's like
it's one of those things where it's like you have to do it, or you have to like really, really want to.
Yeah.
And it's
It'd be
like, does
interesting.
your brother or my brother really want to do it?
Because I think, obviously, me and my siblings aren't all exactly the same, because that's how life works.
Yeah, you're not identical with your siblings.
But we all are relatively musically gifted.
That's genetic.
Yeah, that's genetic. Like my sister is a fantastic piano player and absolutely the best singer.
Where did it stem from?
The three of us.
Were your parents?
Both my parents are musical. My mom doesn't do it as much now, but like she played piano growing up. She used to sing on our praise team, but my dad like taught himself guitar. He's a good singer.
Right. It just, the music notes flow easily with you guys.
Yeah.
You're able to pick up on stuff.
My brother's a fantastic drummer. Like that's where he decided to
keeping the tempo.
Put it in. He still drums a lot. I'd say piano probably is where I excel the most, but I also play bass and I've taught myself guitar a little bit.
Fun.
Me and my brother and my dad used to make up like half, 3/5 of our band at church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. You were just bringing the heat every Sunday.
Yeah, it was like the Beatty Show plus Clinton, Rick, and the singers. So
that's a long ass band name, but I'm there for it.
The Beatty Show plus
Clinton
everybody
and Rick.
else.
Yeah,
and just list
their
names
first
and
names.
So we've been that. So I would be interested to see, if we all pursued everything equally, where things would actually pan out. Because I think my sister is also a great actor. She does have some like stage anxiety, like some stage fright. I know that. But she has a pretty big role in the musical this year. I'll probably try to go back.
She's more active in
she
doing
does
stuff
speech
in front of people.
She does some performance stuff. Like I've encouraged her to continue to do that. Because I get a lot of anxiety and stuff like that too before performing. Like
I think you'd be insane if
nervous.
you didn't. I think you'd be crazy if you didn't have any nerves before any show.
I don't know. There's some people that there's a lot of people that don't.
That makes them a bit crazy, in my opinion. I feel like if the nerves fuel a different type of energy that you don't normally bring. Like starting to get comfortable doing a podcast and like what can we do to change things up so that it makes it more on edge, so that it makes it more exciting, that we get a little bit pumped before starting it up. You know, I think always keeping the body guessing and doing something different just makes way better performances.
I think it just has to do with how people's brains work. I think there's a lot of people that don't necessarily deal with that kind of realm of nervousness. Or, there are people that
they get nervous for different
things.
Will
Prepare so much for performing. Or part of I don't get as nervous for improv performance as I do for like stage or acting.
Really?
Because improv, I think I just see it as like, I'm going to go out there and whatever the fuck happens, and I can't control it.
Dude, it is the opposite for me. Because I know what I'm saying in a stage play.
Sure.
It's reading the moment there, but I know what's going to come out of my mouth. I know what I'm going to say.
Right.
In improv, the guessing part, it gets into my head. Figuring out how the scene's going to go further. Like, improv I have to work at. I know it does not flow easily with me. I can see it flow easily with classmates of mine and stuff like that. And I'm like, I still have to continuously work on scene building and getting on a stage and just with nothing figuring something out.
Sure.
But getting on stage with lines, I love to do it.
Yeah.
I love to do that. I definitely get nervous and excited either way, but I get way more nervous for an improv show where it's like 100 people are here to see you, and you don't
I've
have
done improv
scripts.
for like 450 people before, like a room of like 500 people.
Yeah.
And
did it go well?
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I did this.
They weren't other improvisers. That's why it went well, right? Some of them
they were theater people,
but yeah, they have a different respect for it than people that regularly do it. Like,
it was crazy shit, dude. It was in high school. I think most states have like a state thespian festival, because then there's an international one and states come to it. But it's
Florida's got a state football festival. I don't think we care about this. We don't have that much fine arts. We don't care about that stuff in the South.
No, because I guarantee Florida does, because every state comes to the international festival, and like most states bring a show. I think
I'm sure they actually have it. I was just saying football is way more prevalent in the South,
right?
You know. Sports.
I mean, it's also like I went to a small high school. I was lucky enough that I went to a small high school that also valued arts.
But were the arts more prevalent than football for you?
Oh no,
football was way bigger. The sports
they're
bigger.
Close to equal, but I would still say sports absolutely take precedence.
Oh yeah, our fine arts was a joke.
Yeah,
way different. Way different.
Like they're building a new auditorium now.
That's
or like,
fun.
You know, so like that's big.
A theater per se.
Yeah,
or kind of a multi. Functional thing.
We would use the old middle school auditorium for a long time, but then there were too many kids in the school for the families to fit to watch concerts and stuff, and we're like, we literally need a new space. Like we can't fit. People would have to. They had to put it on a TV outside of the auditorium for people to sit and watch a TV performance of the concert that's going on.
Jeez, you need more space.
Yeah, so they built it, and now it's like a 900-seat auditorium or something like that.
Oh, good,
you know?
Good. That's exactly what happened with our high school, because it was just used for our principal to yell at us, and then for us to graduate, and then that was it, and the occasional show, and then it just became way more.
Sure.
Yeah. Our principal's like, y'all suck. We're like, okay, we have to sit here and take it. Sure.
Well, we went to this thespian festival, the state thespian festival, and I was doing improv at Speech in high school, which is very different than what improv pretty much professionally and pretty much everywhere else is, where it's very scene based. Like you have to have a beginning, middle, and end. You're graded like, and you have it's 3 to 5 minutes, and you have to end within that time period. You have to have an arc, all these things. And I was doing that in speech competitions, and it was the same format at the state festival. And so me and the two guys, one of which he does stand up in the city. His name's Matt Banwart, really funny guy. And then my other friend, I think it was David Taylor at the time. We went and did a scene there, and did not think that our scene was great in the competition, but we won the competition.
All right.
And so then they had a showcase of everybody that won the individual events. And so there were people doing like actual like musical, like a musical theater piece, and acting pieces.
Just kids bringing their all to this
thing. And it was in 2 halves, so half the festival watched, and then they brought in the other half of the festival. So we did it 2 performances in front of 500 people, 2 different scenes. And they were like, this is the showcase, we're not going to time you as much. Mm-hmm. Like, just kind of go on around 5 minutes, kind of start wrapping it up. So we got to have more fun with it. The first scene was kind of okay. It was like this line. I think we just got pulls. Normally you like pull scenes from a hat, but I think we just got pulls or something like that. It was like this lion tamer scene. And it I was the lion. I think we sang The Lion King at one point. But the other scene is ingrained in my memory.
This improv scene you're talking about for the auditorium of 450?
Yeah. I don't know about you. Do you remember all of your improv scenes?
I remember the good ones.
Yeah.
I forget the ones that bombed.
Oh, I remember some terrible scenes like that.
I try to forget the ones. We'll just say that.
But it was this it was a candy store, and we called it Billy Tonka's Chocolate Factory. And I was Billy Tonka, and he was this creepy guy, and it turns out the secret to his candy was that he used children's blood.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so this kid, I locked the kid in the store, and halfway through the scene, it was just me and Matt at this one. He was the kid, and I was Billy Tonka, and we were having this thing, and I was hinting at killing him and all this. And then David, out of nowhere, he's sitting in the corner, and he's like this Vietnam veteran. I don't know, and
his character was a non-veteran. I was like, wait, he's also a non-veteran?
No, he's not a high school student.
Crazy.
But he's over in the corner, and one of the jokes I remember is that I think we ended on something where it was like, you can take the red jelly bean or a blue jelly bean, and made a Matrix reference and all of this shit. But
oh, nice. But was it successful?
People
did it get
loved
laughs?
it. Yeah,
that's good. I mean, what do you remember? Any ones that bombed that you hang on to? Because I'll share one right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Anytime an improv gun gets taken out, you are screwed. Because that gun has to get fired, and people have to improv die. And
well, it doesn't have to get fired.
It doesn't have
shouldn't
to,
get fired.
But people end up firing it. So as soon as like an improv gun gets taken out, you're like, here we go. No one's laughing. This is going to make it worse. And of course, the weird, like, the dumb sound effects someone has to make, and then your delayed reaction. I actually remember doing this where a friend of mine took out her improv pistol, and I was like, don't do it. Then she did it. And then we all just slowly dropped to the floor, and I was cracking up in dead silence because of how horrible this scene was. We wiped it. We tried something new, got a couple of chuckles.
Yeah.
But I will never forget that scene. We were all people stranded on an island, but we didn't develop our characters enough. So then she was just like, we need a way to get out of the scene, and just took it out.
Sure.
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember just feeling complete heat. Just a heat wave of sweat, and just it was hilarious though looking back on it, because you're just doing stupid shit in complete silence, and there's other performers in the crowd, and they're just like, I guess they're waiting for their turn.
Right.
It's an interesting thing.
I'm trying to think of a time a gun was brought out in a scene and it worked.
I
feel like
it works sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we literally were talking about this because I'm taking class at IO. Improv Olympic, it's a place in Chicago. If you are
they don't
watching
call
this
it that
and
anymore. They can't.
If you don't know about improv, and this is the point where we start sounding like assholes. We were talking about in my class on Saturday. Somebody pulled a knife on somebody, and they were like, either somebody on the sides needs to edit right there and show the repercussions of what we don't need to see the stabbing on stage, especially if somebody pulls a knife and is like, I want to stab you, but has either you stab somebody and make the decision right there.
Right. And you hope that the person reacts in a way that they were actually stabbed instead of like, oh, ow.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh my God, why would you do that? Oh.
I feel like generally I've reached the point where like, I don't know, there's some people in my classes that'll do that, but generally most of the people at least, I don't know about you, but that we're performing with, know enough about improv to accept that and actually do something with that.
To react based off of an action versus just half-ass do it even though you don't really want to. Because I think that hinders the performance. When you don't truly give it your all, depending on whatever fastball's thrown your way or curveball. You know what I mean?
And so either if you pull a knife or a gun or something, if your character literally wants to do it, either actually like do it, because then you have an edit right there. Yeah. Especially if you do it at a good moment where it's like the height of the scene is like, I'm actually going to do it. Boom, I did it. There's the edit.
But you're just hoping that somebody realizes that's the scene to wipe.
Yeah, but you have to trust your friends in that instance.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
If people are on the sides, they should be paying attention for that. Some people stand on the sides and are thinking about themselves. If you're standing on the sides, you should be watching the scene and paying attention to the scene.
Figuring out how to make it, maybe how to come in as a one-off or a character.
Not even that. Like, you should just be listening, and if you hear an opportunity, take it. But
finding out,
a lot of times you can feel the edit.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there's a lot of people that, like, you feel it, and you see people lean and then don't take it. And then the scene keeps going, and you're like, well, this scene should have ended a minute and a half ago, but nobody edited it.
Because they were hesitating. Or you're in your head about it, you're thinking about it, all that stuff.
But the other option is if somebody's like pulls a gun and they're like, I'm gonna shoot you, I want to shoot you, and they don't shoot them, and they keep being like, I'm gonna shoot you, then you can edit it and cut to like what happens if the person that got shot isn't in the world anymore.
Right.
You know? Or like what are the repercussions of the scene before?
Or it could become a runner later on, and like the scene comes back and he's like, I swear I'll do it. I will do it, and it's just a quick scene. Yeah, and it's like, come on, you've been saying this for 25 minutes, just do it. Yeah, like there's a lot of potential and opportunities to make it a good scene, but
it's crazy
a lot of the times when you're not really experienced, it just ends poorly.
I was gonna say it's crazy thinking about back to high school and the things you think something is. And it's the same with acting too. Like you think it's this one thing, and in improv in high school you think it's this one thing, and you think there's these limitations on it, and then you get to this point, and it's like, I think part of the reason why I don't stress out about it as much, why I don't get a knot in my stomach. Hey, see you guys later. That was my time.
Yeah,
hey,
what a dad joke to tie it all in. Knots and tummies.
Part of the reason why I don't get that is because it can literally be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
anything.
There's no. I think the rules that you learn initially, they're meant to be broken in some way.
Yeah.
You can say no in a scene. It's possible because it does create a laugh and it does create variation. But if you're a no person to everything.
Well, there's a difference between saying no as an improviser and saying no as a character. Those are two different
absolutely.
things.
Okay, do you want this red balloon? No. Do you want this purple balloon? No. Do you want this yellow balloon? That doesn't bring anything to a scene. You're just
if it's a character choice.
It just ends up being uncomfortable.
Saying no as an improviser is more like somebody establishes a reality and you're like somebody's like, "Oh my god, this submarine we're in is crazy." And somebody
we're not
goes,
in a submarine.
"This isn't a submarine, this is Subway."
And then you're like, "Oh, I'm stupid."
Oh, right.
Yeah, duh.
Sorry, I'm high right now.
PTSD, duh, that's what it does. Wait, you have PTSD? How?
Like I was doing the scene in we were practicing doing a herald, which is fun. I like them. That's why I'm at IO, you know?
I'm not wildly familiar with it, but I'm probably not going to take classes there.
Essentially the idea is like, you do the opener, then there's scene 1A, scene 1B, scene 1C.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Then you do the game and you come back to A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in the 1A scene and I walked on and this guy's sitting in the chair and I realized I was whatever. But we came back to that scene later and this plane had crashed. And they're like, "Oh, my co-pilot died." And so I was like, I was on the sidelines at this point. I was like, "Oh, I was the co-pilot. I crawled on and died." Officially.
Yeah.
And then they're having this moment and they said something. And then I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm not actually dead. Like, I could be a dead body for the rest of the scene, but that's not fun or interesting to watch." And so I came back to life and the third person in the scene was like, "Oh, this is a prank show," and we pranked the other pilot because we had said we loved each other, and then I was dead, and he didn't care about me anymore. Right. And so not only was it a prank show, but then we arrested him and took him to jail. So it's like this thing that I don't think I ever would have thought of before, where it's just like...
That's where I think you have fun and you remember those scenes because they're like, how did this come to be? Everybody kind of collaborated and came together to have this ending to a show.
Because that's when improv is good.
All made sense, weirdly.
That's when improv is good, because everybody brings their own experience and their own filter on everything. And if everybody's accepting the reality, it's all about gift giving and accepting.
That's key. If everyone's accepting and positive.
We're talking about some real nerdy shit right now, guys.
But in reality, I'll say that. Realistically speaking, no, it does benefit to have that.
Yeah.
It really does. But yeah, so you ever been boating?
Like,
I'm thinking of
like not on the ocean.
No, just like boating in a lake.
I've been on pontoon boats. I've been on speedboats.
Fun.
You go tubing.
Did you have to? Oh, great! Kneeboarding, tubings, water skiing, wakeboarding. I loved all that stuff growing up. We tried water skiing when I was like in elementary school and I couldn't do it. I wish I would go back and try it again. I think I'd understand how to do it now. Then I could never figure it out. Being 11, trying to get up on a wakeboard, I think I fell 26 times getting up. And then I finally was up, face planted, and was like, I'm good for the month. Yeah. I'll come back to this later.
You can really hurt yourself doing that shit.
Oh, yeah. Especially like getting whipped at a high speed when you're turning, like tubing too. Like if somebody turns the boat, you know the gravity's gonna take your tube and you're gonna go flying along the side.
I hadn't been tubing in forever, and this past summer when I was up at camp with my family, we had our day out of camp. We went and got a pontoon boat and went tubing.
Fun.
And me and my brother got on the tube together. It was so much fun.
'Cause you're hanging on for dear life. Almost.
Yeah, and doing
the boat's
like this.
not going that fast.
Yeah.
But you're thinking that you think you're flying at 50 miles an hour, but it's really going like 18.
Yeah, and we're doing like weird poses and stuff. Like my mom's taking pictures, and we're like, holding each other's arms, doing like,
water Olympics
stuff.
Yeah. I have a friend that actually does that. Like almost.
Oh really?
Yeah, like show skiing and stuff where they all stack on top of each other. Like he's one of the pyramid pieces, and he's like one of the people at the top. Then they all like backflip off. It's insane.
The last time I actually saw a show like that, you ever been to the Wisconsin Dells?
Yeah. The Dells are weird. It's just water parks and cheese curd stations.
When I was, how old? Like early middle school, sometime around there, maybe third grade, so not middle school. I was young, Right. We went on a trip to the Wisconsin Dells, and I still kind of do, but I used to have like a really sensitive stomach to rich food. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
your stomach would get in knots after having some curds.
Yeah. Well, not just curd. Like really rich chocolate. I couldn't have like chocolate cake still to this day. If it's really sweet, can be troublesome to me.
Good.
I used to throw up after eating like some crab rangoon, which is my favorite food. And now like I've gotten to the point where that's not a problem for me anymore.
Thank God.
You know, but we used to think I was allergic to shellfish because of it.
You're just allergic to crab rangoon.
Yeah, I was like, no. And so, like, for years, I
nightmare.
couldn't eat it. And I was like, this is the most depressing thing in the world.
I'd go bulimic for crab rangoon. If I had to. If I ate it knowing I'd throw up, I'm just going to enjoy it.
But it wouldn't be, like, right after. It'd be, like, I'd wake up in the middle of the night after eating Chinese food.
Your stomach's churning. You're doing knots.
And,
you think sometimes it's in your head? You ever think sometimes it was, like, a placebo effect? Like, every time I ate coconut shrimp, I felt like I was going to throw up. Because one time I actually had a stomach sickness, ate coconut shrimp, vomited, thought it was because of that.
Sure.
Every time my dad cooked coconut shrimp, I was like, the smells are making me ill.
Or like I threw up, I maybe had the flu or something one time and threw up and then I connected it. And then I outgrew it for whatever reason.
Right, your palate changes
But
over
I've
time.
always known if I'm actually going to throw up or if I'm just feeling queasy, you know?
Right.
Like I've never, like, I've always been able to get to somewhere where it's like either a bowl or a toilet or a garden, you know.
A garden, yeah, just a random bush.
Yeah, one year when we moved to where my family lives now, on move day, I think I was probably sick, but we had Subway, and I had a red Powerade.
Some questionable
then
meat.
Vomited, and it was like red because of the Powerade. It looked like I was
just puking up blood.
Yeah, I was like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
But
never going to Subway again. That's awful. How often do you go to Subway?
Growing up, it was my town didn't even have a McDonald's.
When it was actually good, though. Growing up, it was actually
I still fuck
bad.
with Subway, honestly, though.
They have questionable deli meats. I can't do it.
What's your sandwich joint then?
My sandwich joint? Oh, I like me a Jimmy John's. Yeah. I like me a Potbelly's is overrated. I think that the price of the sandwich is nuts.
Potbelly's is okay. I'll get a chicken salad sandwich there with hot peppers, and that's the only one I'll get.
That's pretty good. I feel like that's one of those niche places you can get chicken salad sandwiches.
Dude, I love a chicken salad sandwich. I didn't think I would as a kid.
You had Jersey Mike's before?
No.
It's not bad.
That's what I've heard.
Getting it Mike's way, they just douse it in oil and vinegar. Excellent.
I had, you ever eaten at Blimpie? Or Blimpi? I think it's a gas station and a sandwich shop.
I love those places. Like a Wawa? Have you ever heard of a Wawa before?
No. I don't even know what that is.
Ooh, a Wawa is like a Blimpie in a way.
Like the big one in Iowa is Casey's General Store is one of the most infamous pizza.
Can't you get like chili there or something?
You get pizza there.
Pizza
Let me tell
gas.
you. And look up the pizza. It's the greasiest pizza in the world, but I'll tell you what, that shit slaps.
Restaurant sub sandwiches?
Iowans will go to war over Casey's pizza.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all for it.
Damn, I want Casey's.
Why does Blimpie...
Hey, Mom, Dad, if you're watching... Well, this comes out on Friday.
Blimpie is stealing Subway's colors. This looks just like Subway.
They've always been that color, though.
So Blimpie was the first Subway.
I've only had Blimpie once, but I had their BLT, and it was the most bacon on a sub sandwich I think I've ever had. It was great. And it was like crispy bacon, too. I don't know. I still like Subway. Jimmy John's I like, but it makes me shit. You're welcome, everybody. Hey, guess what?
You shit eating sandwiches.
Yeah, guess what? If I eat Jimmy John's, I will shit within 30 minutes.
This is Wawa. The gas station you can get mac and cheese,
that's actually
chicken
a good
tenders.
Yeah, that's a good.
These are excellent looking hoagies.
Is that in Florida?
It actually started around here. It started around here and then moved its way down to Florida.
That was a bad version of that. I'm sorry.
You've never heard of Wawa,
no.
And it started around this area. Actually, no, it started in Massachusetts and Maine, actually. It started in the Northeast.
It was close to this area.
Yeah, very close. Not that we're in, like, the Midwest.
We're on the east side of the Mississippi, you know?
Oh.
But Subway. No, I still really like Subway.
Yeah? You still mess with those... You know, I hated that they did $5 footlong songs, and it was only a deal that lasted a month. Maybe.
It all depends on the sandwich artist. You know, sometimes you get a bad sandwich artist.
You can get an artist that
Somebody that
really
doesn't care.
they take creative freedom, and it's not for the best.
Yeah. Or you go, hey, can I get extra mayo? And they don't give you extra. And it's like, okay, well, I asked for it for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked for double squirts of Chipotle Southwest, and you give me a couple dollars.
Yeah. But
you make me sick.
Subway was a big part of growing up because not only Mount Vernon didn't have a McDonald's. Like the only chain restaurants we had were Hardee's.
Okay.
Which is a weird. It's
it's
good.
It's so good.
I mean, it's terrible for you.
Absolutely.
Like of thinking of all of the chain restaurants, like just the things they come up with are the most unhealthy.
Oh my god!
You remember their commercials with like a very scantily clad woman,
and
like
she's just
and it's
downing
like,
a Hardee's burger,
dude. And not only is it a burger, it's like a patty, and then it's like brisket, and then it's pulled pork, and then it's onion straws, and you're like,
yeah,
are we trying to kill people?
Right.
What are we trying to? Hey,
and
what
I
are we
guarantee
doing?
she threw up after eating that. I'm sorry. I hope she's the best.
She spit it in a bucket afterwards. She didn't even swallow.
She's not going to chew,
Yeah.
eat, and swallow the food.
It's like
it's not good for her figure.
Like I'm sure Kate Upton did a commercial at some. You know,
I bet
like,
that's how Justin Verlander met her. I think.
Yeah, classic. You know.
Oh, this is Sarah Delamico. We're talking about Second City real quick. Has the sketch where mentions Publix in Publix name.
Yeah, it's a restaurant, right?
It's actually a grocery store that has amazing sandwich selections.
Dude,
that's fantastic.
That's an interesting sandwich.
A chicken tender sub.
Hey,
is one of the best.
Sound
things
off
you'll
in the
ever
comment
get.
section below. Would you get a chicken tender sub?
You would, because you should.
Are they good tenders? Are they seasoned?
They are very good tenders.
Are they spicy at all?
They have a bit of a spice to it, but the buffalo sauce along with it makes it the best.
See, that's when you
can
know
add
it's a good
jalapenos.
tender, when you got some spice.
Oh, you can just have a tender meal if you want, but
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend a Publix chicken tender sub. If you ever make it to that region where you find a Publix, you go in there and you get a hoagie.
Okay.
You get a chicken tender sub.
It's like one of those places where, like, if you're in Texas, you get a Whataburger. If you're in Cali, you go to In-N-Out.
Yeah, you get a Publix sub in Florida.
Cool.
Because we have Culver's too, but
Culver's is fire, dude.
Yeah,
Culver's,
Culver's
dude,
gives me a
let me tell you something about Culver's, all right? Hey.
Relax.
Hey, we used to go. I don't know if I'm in frame right now. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, we got excited about Culver's. Dude, Culver's is so good.
What? Honestly, I get wicked stomach aches, knots in my stomach after having a double bacon butter burger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a real stomach ache.
Culver's was
Especially
another
if
growing
there's
up
butter
one.
in the burger.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a butter in the name of the burger, that's a problem. You're asking for
I don't
diabetes.
know. I think Culver's always sat well with me. There's this guy, one of the families we went up to this camp with, really loved Culver's, and so we'd always stop at Culver's on the way up to camp. We'd always find one wherever we were.
Would you get custard along with everything
yeah,
too?
dude.
You have to.
And-
you can't go and just have a burger. You have to get
yeah.
custard and curds.
Well, you get free, like the kids' meals get free scoops. Like one free scoop comes on the token, you just go use that.
Tell me more.
And my family would save those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's excellent.
Dude, you got to learn how to play the system, dude.
I didn't even understand that they offered free scoops.
Well, it's on the kids' meal. Like the kids' bag comes with it.
Do you have to be a certain age to get a kids meal? Because
I mean, technically, but
I'll get a goddamn kids meal.
Technically, yeah, but I feel like, especially in the Midwest, people are just like, if you go in and you're like 45 and you're like, can I get a kids meal? They're like, fuck it.
Yeah. Oh, sure. You can have whatever you like here at Culver's. Yeah.
And I feel like, they're already working for minimum wage, so they're like, I really don't care.
Right.
But on the most underrated thing, don't go crazy flavor. Just get vanilla custard with Reese's peanut butter cups on it. Dude, that shit's fire.
I love me some concrete flavors, though. I love to
they're
have
good,
Oreos blended in with something else. I like to get 2 different flavors. I love
You
just
can't
like a
do
giant
that with
combination.
the free scoop, though.
Not with the free scoop.
You can get the scoop of the like flavor of the day, but it's one scoop and a topping. That's what you get with the free scoop.
My family and I would go and just grab Culver's ice cream after we would eat dinner
like
at
a
home.
pint?
Yeah, we'd either get a pint or we'd just go get like the concretes there. Like we'd order online or something and go pick them up. They always got the order wrong, but we would just laugh about it and then come home and eat them. It was great.
But so we had a Hardee's.
Okay, so there's Hardee's.
Had
Carl's
a
Jr.
Hardee's. Had a Dairy Queen.
Okay.
So a lot of people have been dissing Dairy Queen recently. Especially around here. I don't know what the deal is. Dairy Queen Blizzards are fire.
The Blizzards are good,
Yeah?
but the food selection is just so.
You don't go to Dairy Queen to get food. I mean, you do. I've gotten food there several times in my life.
Have you heard of Zaxby's before?
Yeah, I've never been there before though. I've only ever seen commercials.
Zaxby's is great.
And then we had a Subway. And part of the reason, not only did we get, like, you know, it's the most healthy option of those three. You know, so like if you're looking for a quick meal, you get Subway.
I would say that.
By far. You know,
right.
Hardee's, Dairy
Queen,
Queen, Subway.
Sandwich versus a cheeseburger with grease.
And obviously it depends what you get. Like if you get a steak and cheese melt, that's going to be more calories than a ham sandwich.
Right.
But then when I was in high school, there was a thing, and I think it was for most sports. I don't think it was just for basketball. Maybe it was just for basketball. I don't know. But they would offer, for every away game, they gave us like a little you bought it for the whole season. It was like $90 or something like that.
Right.
And for every away game, somebody would go and pick up all of our orders, and it was like this little $5 box. It was a 6-inch sub. You got what you wanted, and chips and a cookie. And so that was like your meal for the night.
Just pay $90 up front. You get it every time you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet. I would do that deal.
Oh, it was fire.
I would do that
It
deal.
was so smart.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And then, let me tell you, dude. Do you play sports in high school?
I did, but it was like, it wasn't for the school. It would just be like pickup games outside. Like I loved playing basketball and stuff, but I never made it.
Because you went to a bigger school, right?
Yeah, it was a bigger school where like players would go D1 and
right.
stuff. Like, I could not compete being 5'2" and 160 pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Our school wasn't that, you know, my graduating class was 70 people.
Oh my God. So, yeah. Our 2,000 graduating class.
But we would stop at, especially after basketball.
People?
Yeah.
You would have a very select few people make the basketball team, right?
Oh, not select. Anybody that wanted to play pretty much played on the team.
That's exciting.
Made the team.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta write down. We gotta bind this contract of our one-on-one that we've been hinting at for weeks.
Dude, I'm gonna kick your ass. There's no reason. I don't know why you're so excited about this. I'm gonna destroy you.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I want to get just stuff on paper that says I will eventually play you in a one-on-one.
You don't need to put it on paper. I'll do it, and I'll put my blood.
Blood oath?
Blood oath. Yeah. You did.
I've already created a blood sacrifice.
Yeah, tell him who gave you that Band-Aid.
My dad, actually. No. You got me the Band-Aid.
You bitch.
It's the Avengers. It's the Avengers Band-Aid. My dad does not own Avengers Band-Aids. Only this guy would.
Fun fact, those Band-Aids are from a first aid kit that my mom made me before I went to college.
Aww. So this Band-Aid's expired.
Shout out to my mom.
This is an expired bandage.
I don't think Band-Aids expire.
Yeah, they do. The material in them gets deteriorated over time. 6 months. That's what I told. The shelf life of a Band-Aid, 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, those are 5 years old. So
I'm screwed.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
This is harming me.
You're gonna die. I'm sorry.
But I would love to play you in a one-on-one.
You won't afterwards.
I have the body of a goddess right now. You can't compete.
You have the body of a goddess?
A goddess. You can't compete with my physical abilities. I am a goddess on the field. You know, I play basketball.
You're saying it a lot, which I know you know what you're saying. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make it better. I don't have the body of a goddess, nor a god right now.
You have a god bod. You do, without a doubt.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, my love handles are too big right now.
But that's what makes the god bod the god bod.
No, have you seen movies like what's that? Is it Immortals?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Wait.
There's this movie. Dude, if you haven't seen this movie, see one day. Hey, if you're listening now, you're a D1. I'm considering you a day one if you're watching right now. If you're watching,
you're a D1.
You're a D1 athlete. If you're watching right now, you're one of our homies. You're one of our day ones. If you're listening right now, that applies to you as well. You've listened within this is episode 24. Mm-hmm. You've listened within the first 25 or 26 within the first half year. If we ever get to the point where we have somebody that can pull up videos for us, this will be sick. But there's this movie. I think
Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie in here?
Hey, OneFire.
Anybody.
Yeah, dude. I have to show you this clip after. It's called Immortals, and it's like one of those movies. It was before Kingsman came out. It was Henry Cavill's first big movie, I think. Or one of his first.
Oh,
terrible ratings.
Okay.
But the gods, Henry Cavill's in it. So, think about that. You know,
just completely ripped. It was. They were trying to, I think, piggyback off the success of 300. Right, yeah. They were really putting 300's name out there.
And Clash of the Titans came out around that time.
Yeah, so it was big. This Norse god, Greek god movie scene was big.
Not Norse.
It's different.
It's
Norse, Greek.
Norse.
What's Norse?
I'm really big into mythology. So
I'm not.
Norse
You
is
can tell.
Viking.
Norse is Viking.
That's
okay.
like Thor.
Oh, very different then.
Thor, Loki, Odin.
Okay, so
Hela.
Norse off the picture. It's just Greek. Okay.
Like it's one of the big three. Like if you ever play, you know the game Age of Mythology.
No.
You know the game Age of Empires.
Yes.
It went Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 3.
Gotcha.
Age of Mythology, you can like pick which gods you worship, and you can create like mythical creatures and stuff like that.
Right.
And you can choose at the beginning of the game, you choose a main Norse, Greek, or Egyptian god. Because Greek and Roman gods are essentially the same thing.
Okay.
That's the one.
Greek and Roman, not Norse and Greek.
Rome pretty much came in and said, "I'm going to give all of your gods different names and make them our own."
Either way. What my statement was complimenting your bod.
No, it's not.
Long
it's
story
not
short, you have the body of a Norse or Greek.
Dude, I went to school with this guy, one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He's in LA right now, and I really hope I get to work or write with him someday. His name's Connet Krogan. He's hilarious. You should follow him on Twitter. Shout out Connet. He was a senior when I was a freshman in high school. I kind of learned some improv stuff from him. Like, hilarious guy. I was on a national championship improv team at the University of Iowa. He just posted a picture on Twitter of him shirtless. And he's like, he has abs now. He's like, he's
living the LA lifestyle, right?
I think he's like, "Hey, I'm hot now," or something like that.
After a while.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess it's my turn. I guess I've got to stop being lazy, and I actually have to do it. So
let's get this, Trev. Let's do it.
My goal is by this summer to look like closer to how my brother did a couple summers ago.
All right, so. It's binding now. It's on video. It's contractually binding.
I'm
trying to see a single ab by the summer. I have never once in my life had an ab. I'd like to be able to see them. I
was looking back at pictures from high school, and I used to be in pretty good shape.
You used to have an ab?
I don't know if I ever had abs, but I was I was a sprinter.
Right.
You know, so like...
Abs are made in the kitchen, is from what I've been told.
Yeah, that's
constantly.
True.
You can't, no matter how many crunches you do, if you go home and eat a crunch bar, it doesn't help.
Well, you have to... The thing is, everybody has abs. You have to get your fat percentage
low enough to see them.
You know? Same thing with like people that are cut here. Like I don't have a ton of muscle right now because I haven't lifted legitimately in a long time. But
it's just too
there are people that are cut here that don't have any muscle mass just because they don't
have fat either.
So they look cut.
Yeah.
So here's some goals for us, I guess. But
this all stemmed from basketball one-on-ones, which we will do someday.
Yeah.
We're not just going to talk about it for months and then have it never happen. This is going to happen.
Dude, if I had a gym membership right now, good night.
My buddy has a membership that allows guests, so we can make this happen sooner than we think.
I'm also saying if I had a gym membership when I moved to the city, I don't think I would
have been active.
I would be more active, yeah.
It's $15 a month at your local export, but the sign-up fees... You're not close to any export?
The closest export is Second City.
That's not bad. I take a train to get to mine. I'm not walking distance from mine. It's a pain in the butt.
I mean, technically, most people would not consider me walking distance from Second City, I don't think.
You're 30 minutes. Like it's about a mile and a half.
25 if I fast walk.
Right. It's like 2 miles or a mile and a half, yeah?
It's like 1.6, 1.7, something like that.
Yeah, I'm like 1.3 from mine, and sometimes I'll walk, and I'm like, I hate that I just did this, because my roommate never wants to take the train. It's like, dude, come on. Just take the train at 2 stops. It's way less of a walk to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, I should just say rip and get one
but financially it's hard because the sign-up fees are stupid.
I'm also one of those people that likes working out. Talking about them like assholes. I'm one of those people that likes working out.
But it's so good for your mental health more than anything. It's good. That's the reason I do it. I don't do it to be like, I'm trying to be cut for a role that I don't have yet. Like, no, I'm doing it because I feel better doing these exercises.
Right.
It makes me feel good. And
I don't know if especially while working night jobs, I don't think I'll ever be that kind of person again. But one of my biggest regrets about like how my life changed going to college is like before that, when I was doing sports in high school, you would lift at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
the diligence.
And you just like feel so much better for the rest of the day. Like you're not just mentally, but physically. you have more energy, you feel cleaner.
That's the irony behind it. You feel like it'd be draining of your energy, but it actually gives you more longevity throughout the day. Like it just makes you more energized.
So I was eating a lot of junk food. I cleansed a little bit, and already I was really depressed the other day.
Yeah.
I was having like a really big depressive episode. I was like, I'm gonna
just
treat myself.
Clean slate it. We gotta, yeah.
Well, that was the first part. I'm gonna clean slate it. A couple days went by. I was still struggling a lot. I was feeling very lonely. Talked to my parents. Had this conversation. Felt a little bit better, but I was like, you know what? I've done well so far. I haven't slipped up. I've been eating okay. I haven't had Buffalo Wild Wings in a long time. I'm going to
get some
food and treat myself. And I used to be able to eat like a full medium order of wings, and you feel terrible afterwards.
But no, you crush it. Is it
you crush it
10? Just 10 wings?
No, a medium's 18 and largest.
Oh, that's easy.
And it's normally actually by weight now. It used to be by number, and now it's more because you can get a really small wing and then
it's screw off with the small wings. Yeah.
But I got a medium and ate 8 wings, and I was like, I'm full. I can't eat the rest of these.
So your stomach shrunk, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I go back and forth. There are periods of time where I can smash just about anything. I'm like, yeah, I'll eat that and I'll kill it.
I have 6 meals a day, man.
That's insane.
I have 6. They're smaller ones, but I have 6 of them. It's disgusting.
I generally have 1 or 2.
Yeah, but you get a big meal in the morning, a big meal at night, you're fine to go.
Not even big. Right now, it's not big.
They're just tiny ones? What'd you have for breakfast today?
Today I had oatmeal.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Oatmeal is really good for you to start
Something simple, something easy.
Takes 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes.
And then for dinner, I'll have a salad, something like that.
Shoot, did you go You got groceries and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Parents sent some money for Valentine's Day,
Heck
so
yeah.
I didn't have a Valentine. My parents were my Valentine.
That's totally fine. I didn't have a Valentine either, even though
I got a card. I got a card from my grandparents. That it was a Valentine's Day card, and it said love, Pa and Grandma Beatty, but didn't have a message and didn't have anything in the card.
It just said
I don't mean, I'm not trying to sound selfish or conceited or anything like that, but if you're sending it's sweet that they're thinking of me.
Yeah.
But at least write a message.
Oh, it was just love you.
It was whatever the card said, and then love, Pa and Grandma.
Gotcha.
And it was either send me something.
Either $20.
Either send me something or just say something nice.
Yeah, my grandparents got me a card because they used to send.
I feel like a dick.
No, not at all.
They're not going to watch this.
I'm always low key thinking the same thing. If I get a card that's just love, you could have texted me that. You could have sent me a picture of the card and then texted me love you. Right. Don't waste money on the stamps.
But then I realized when I was a kid, your parents are like, hey, come sign a birthday card for your grandma. And you get there, and your other 2 siblings have already written on the card, and one of them has already said, "Hey, happy birthday! Hope you have a great day. You deserve it." And you're like, "Well, I can't use that anymore."
Yeah, I'd strictly be copied.
You know that. The other one has been happy birthday, I love you so much, thank you for everything you do for me. And you're like, what's left?
Yeah.
What else can I say?
HBD, love you. I hope everything is going well. You have to reword it. Always be the first one to sign that card. Because then you set precedent. No one else can copy that.
Dude, I forgot about that kind of. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I always trying to have originality and saying I love you or happy birthday or something.
Right.
Man, we struggle with the same thing. My little brother copied everything that I said, and I was like, dude, get original. Get your own sayings. Make your own things up. He would just look at what I wrote and then would just word for word copy it.
Right. My sister texted me, oh, holy cow, 40 minutes ago now. I loved your sketch, even though I didn't get the movie reference. Thanks, Tess.
Thank you. You didn't get the movie reference.
Yeah, I asked.
What movie were we talking about?
I asked, wait, which one? I bet she's talking about Ghost.
Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah.
The movie's past your time. This was for about 37-year-olds and up.
Swayze was before our time.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
He was dead before we were alive, right?
I think so.
Well,
He was kind of
when he died.
It was one of those tragic deaths.
Yeah, he died way too early. Dude, imagine if Patrick Swayze was alive.
He'd be like George Clooney making some shitty tequila, I think. Oh, he died in 2009. We were 15.
Oh, really?
I was 15 years old. Yeah.
Lol.
Did he have some?
Dude,
he had a disease, right?
Dude,
He had
I don't know,
sort of
but anybody that had any clue when he passed away, and I was like, he died before we were alive. They were probably like, oh, these fucking idiots,
on, these dumbasses. He had cancer. Oh no,
that's really sad.
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was 57.
See, I felt like
Pretty
he died.
young.
In my head, I told myself that he died when he was like 40.
I thought so too. I think he was away from the media for about 3 or 4 years.
You
battling
seen Roadhouse?
the cancer. I haven't seen the full Roadhouse.
Have you seen him rip the dude's throat out?
Yes,
Okay.
I've seen clips of that.
I was gonna say
he was a sex symbol apparently, sexiest man alive in 1991.
Dude, absolutely.
The movie Ghost, teary-eyed every time. Dirty Dancing is great. Oh, great.
Dude, have you seen a movie that could not be done today? To Wong Fu.
I'm looking at
You seen that movie?
Yeah, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. Yeah.
Oh man. That movie absolutely.
Wesley Snipes in it too. Oh,
John Leguizamo.
They're all ladies. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're all
after
drag
tying,
queens.
They are. After tying for the win in New York City's Drag Queen of the Year contest, Noxema Jackson.
I watched that movie when it came on TV, and my dad was like, "Oh, this is a funny movie." Granted, this was probably 10 years ago.
Are you kidding me? Robin Williams is in it too.
I don't remember that. I started watching it the other day because it was like on TV or something, and I was like, "Yeah, people would it." It's not quite the Tropic Thunder situation, you know. I think it's worse than the Tropic Thunder thing.
Yeah, but
nobody's like Tropic Thunder is a bad people. Oh, you saw RDJ's interview on Rogan? Rogan was like, I think you probably still could do that movie today. I agree.
I agree too, because it was the way that it was written was this is a character that will take things to extremes just to get a point across. There was like this layered piece where he was this Australian method actor that took it too far versus Robert Downey Jr. solely doing that.
Dude,
he was Kirk Lazarus playing that character.
The scene where he goes, "What do you mean, you people?"
The
other guy, "What do you mean, you people?"
Yeah.
That shit's the funniest thing.
Survive. Oh, it's so good.
I still die every time when Steve Coogan takes them out for the first time, and he's like, "There's stuff you're not gonna know what's real and what's fake," and he fucking blows up.
Like, oh,
boom! Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, good one."
Yeah, I'm Damien. Oh, these prosthetics are they're real, and like blood's coming out of the head. Oh
my god!
Yeah, that's it. I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
A laugh out loud movie.
It really is.
The interview with that is hilarious too, where he's like talking to his mother, and she's like, "I don't know about this one, Robbie. Like, don't do it."
And Tom Cruise's
that's
role
best,
in that is
best
one of
role.
his best roles.
Best role, I think, of his entire career is.
I don't know if it's his best. I mean,
it's just for me.
He's a better actor than people give him credit for nowadays because he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's really good in the Mission Impossible movies. You know, he has. I mean,
I don't like him. I'm sorry.
In movies?
I don't like him in movies. I like him as Les Grossman because I think it's hilarious.
What about Top Gun?
I haven't seen all of Top Gun. I'm telling you, I'm not a movie person.
Do you know who dies?
Goose.
Oh.
Spoilers from an 80s movie. Wow.
Edge of Tomorrow is actually really good.
Where he's in like a super suit.
Oh, like Risky Business, man.
Yeah. Rain Man.
War of the Worlds was actually good. Eyes Wide Shut.
He was a star, dude. He's been in a lot of movies. But he's a crazy.
Dude, A Few Good Men.
You're saying these things to me, and I don't know.
We gotta watch movies.
We probably do.
I mean, I watch a lot of movies.
I know you do.
Interview with a Vampire, Born on the 4th of July.
So, what do you say we hop into?
Valkyrie, dude. Have you seen Valkyrie?
I have. That was actually one of his roles where they're like, he actually did really well here, and it was different.
I mean, the thing with him, he's always a super committed actor. Like, he's very committed, and it's good. I mean, yes and no. Like, he plays some roles that are different, like he's an action star now, like because of Mission Impossible. But
Right.
you know, he's played a good number of different things. He's in The Outsiders. I forgot that. It's just he's a Scientologist.
That cast is wild.
So he's crazy.
Yeah, that cast for The Outsiders is wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ralph Macchio, Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen's in it, right?
I think so.
Swayze's in that, right?
I think so. 1983 movie. Let's see who it stars. Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise. Yeah, it was.
Sheen's not in that one. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are in Red Dawn together, I think.
And they're brothers. They're part of the Rat Pack for a while in the 90s.
Dude, have you seen Red Dawn?
Yeah, it's corny, but
dude,
I love
Red Dawn, that's one of my favorite old movies.
And then Josh Peck tried to make a new one.
Dude, in the new one, Chris Hemsworth when he dies, he gets destroyed. Just out of nowhere. Everybody thinks they're safe, and he's like in the middle of this hallway, and all of a sudden he gets shot in the head, and it's just like, well, there's Chris Hemsworth. See you later.
There's this whole scene. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, let's get to our news story.
Let's hop into the news here. Or that's not news. Actually, the best part of our segment here is that we look at stories on various news sites, whether it's sports or just news in general, could be political, maybe not. We find stuff that just doesn't belong on headlines or stuff that people they jump the gun for.
I'm glad that you're explaining our final segment.
I'll explain it 24 in. I'll explain it right now. So, I think this does not deserve to be anywhere. He's fading away right now. We're losing
I don't
Trevor.
know what I'm doing. I just felt like doing that.
We're losing him.
Hey, see how tight my core is? It's
Yeah.
not tight, it's not super
that's
tight.
alarming. It just reinforces the God bod that I was talking about.
See, I've got stuff going on underneath the layer of fat that's there right now.
Same. I got stuff going on.
You don't have...
You'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised.
You literally lifted your shirt up for the camera before the show started.
And you saw my haunch, right? I'm 6 weeks pregnant. It's wild.
6, maybe 3, all right?
3?
Yeah, you can't tell.
You wouldn't even show.
If you came to me and you were like, hey, Trevor, I'm pregnant, I'd be like, where's the baby?
It's in my lower abdomen. Okay.
That's where it is every time.
I know.
You can't be like, oh, it's in my chest.
It's in my esophagus.
Yeah. Anyway, that's probably one of the weirdest things that has been said on this podcast.
So,
we're on Bleacher Report today, which if you don't follow Bleacher Report, I think it's actually a really good sports news source.
And it's just news. There's no, let's hear from this personality about this. It's just sports news, which I enjoy.
Well, they have their own, talk shows and stuff.
But they don't jam it in your face. You know,
and they also have, rumor mills and stuff like that. So, but that's a specific, they have, NBA news and then NBA rumors. They delineate between the two.
Versus just throwing it all out there on the same page and then being like, you figure it out.
This one I really like, or I don't like. This article we're talking about because of some recent events. We talked about Kobe passing away a couple episodes ago. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah.
That's still crazy. But this report... Apparently there was a tweet that went out earlier today or last night saying that Amari Cooper, the star wide receiver for the Cowboys, had been shot.
Wait, who reported it? Was it just a tweet from somebody?
It was a tweet that was going viral saying that Amari Cooper had been shot.
A person. Just one. Was it a news site? Was it TMZ? Was it I wonder what company, or maybe the tweets have been deleted since then. Mike Leslie.
No, he's tweeting that he's tweeting about how
nothing
he was
but a
rumored.
rumor. Okay. It's kind of scary how much
Cooper
it spreads, though.
shot.
We're talking about this. Amari Cooper wasn't actually shot, but the fact that the news spread so quickly of his rumored shooting, just is insane to me that people take one person's tweet and just think of it as fact and continue to go with it. That's not how news should be spread anymore.
I mean, that's how Kobe's death was spread.
Yeah, and that's why people just didn't believe it, because they were like, this is TMZ. TMZ is screwing with all of us right now. There's no way that's possible. And, unfortunately it was. It did happen.
Yeah, so part of the reason we brought this one is just because, first of all, if you only get your news through Twitter... I can be guilty of this sometimes. It's not a safe place to do that. They did. They came out and said that they wouldn't let political ads run or something like that after all of the fake news stuff from the 2016 election.
Okay.
You know, when all of the...
So they banned political ads in general,
like
for every party.
Because the big thing that, like, Facebook hasn't banned them. They said they'd allow people to...
That's where Facebook gets
That's where all the fake stuff.
Market. Yeah.
Like, if you watch... Oh, what's the document? There's a documentary about it with, like, Cambridge Analytica and all that stuff that happened.
Yeah.
They won't let that run, but still, anybody can say anything on Twitter, and anybody can retweet that or share that, but that doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
Like, literally last night, I tweeted a story about how in high school I did this role, and it got adjudicated, and somebody said I did really well, but gave me a really terrible grade, and I hated it at the time, and at the end of the tweet I said it still haunts me. It doesn't really still haunt me. It was something that I thought about that I thought was funny.
Right.
But it doesn't... it haunts me because that adds to the joke.
Right. I read your sense of humor through that,
Yeah.
but then some people could misconstrue that and be like, is he really...
Yeah.
Is his ego really taken aback by this?
And there have been times where you tweet something and then, like, somebody texts you, like, are you okay? Or, like, I tweeted something last summer or this fall where it was like, oh, I just found a travel mug of coffee from when I moved to the city 3 months ago. Do you think it's safe if I still drink it? And a lot of people were like, Trevor, you didn't drink this. Like, oh no, are you okay? Like, I was like, of course I wasn't actually going to do it.
Have a sense of humor, people. Come on. Read the sarcasm in the tweet. Twitter is mostly for jokes.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is that you can't read tone of voice over things like that. And you can't tell if somebody's joking or something's true.
Right.
There are news sources on Twitter. You know, news sources have their own Twitters. They're tweeting stuff out. But at the same time, something like this can happen. When earlier today, we were talking about it, Pop Smoke, a rapper in California, apparently got murdered in his home. In his home or somebody else's home.
Somebody invaded his home and killed him.
And that's a real one, you know? In a time where everything is so... immediate and everything's so quick, it's very dangerous to believe everything you read.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why, not to get political or anything, but this documentary I was talking about, some people in that documentary that they interviewed are worried that it might be impossible to ever have a free and fair election again, because
due to the emergence of social media.
Yeah.
Due to something like this. Yeah.
Because of influence and because you don't know what's true.
Propaganda is such an easy way. It's so easily spread now.
Yeah.
You know, you had to get propaganda through papers back in the day. You can look up propaganda in 10 seconds online if you want to.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm really glad. I mean, this article itself that he is okay is newsworthy. I think it should be talked about more. That things get put out online all the time that aren't true. You know, I think Des Bryant tweeted, like, there's some really messed up people out there. Like, I literally just talked to, like, he's fine. You know.
Yeah.
I like Amari Cooper a lot. And he was on my fantasy team this past year. It would sadden
me to hear something like that. It would sadden me to hear something like that too, if that was true.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid, like, don't spread stuff like that if it's false or you don't have all the facts. You don't know what happened.
Imagine though if the Kobe stuff had been fake.
Oh my! Everybody would have lost their job that shared that story.
People would have lost their mind. But when it came out, everybody reacted similarly to this, where it's like, that can't be real.
Immediately, yeah, no way. BS. I'm calling your BS. Yeah, I tweeted something too. I tweeted, like, life hack: if you're constipated, drink Visine and down it like it's a shot of tequila. In what world would I ever do that?
Right.
It's a joke. It's a stupid, like, life hack parody joke.
Mm-hmm.
My little brother texts me and he's like, "You didn't actually do that, did you?" I'm like, "I'm glad you hold me with such high hopes.
Right.
Thank you."
It's
and,
just
like, just come on, man. You really think it's serious?
A weird thing, because everybody's trying to be somebody on, like, who I am on Twitter is not who I am.
It's a character.
I mean, it is, but it's not, you know?
Right.
It's like an elevation, and
it's your comedic point of view being shared.
Yeah.
It's something that I don't think everybody understands.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a pretentious
and everybody
dick.
uses it differently. You know, there are those people that are different. You know, like, I was talking about Connor earlier. He has hilarious tweets.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if 99% of them are real. thoughts, that like genuine thoughts that he has.
This is just like, this is kind of effed up, or this is kind of crazy, I'm gonna say this.
Or, you know, he'll tweet how, like, one day he'll be like, I need a tall girlfriend, because he's a short guy, he's like 5'6" or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
He's like, I need a tall girlfriend that'll do this, and then the next day he'll tweet, my girlfriend did this. You know? And so clearly one of those is not real.
Yes, it's just yeah. A friend of mine does the same thing. Well, she'll tweet stuff where she talks about having a husband that she does not have.
Right.
Like, it doesn't always have to be true, but don't take the word as bond. It's not totally true.
Like, I said something the other day that was like, it was on Valentine's Day. I said something like, in search of somebody to come help me pick something to watch.
Yeah, I think I remember.
This is not a Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah.
In reality, I really sometimes struggle to pick something to watch. So there's truth behind the tweet. But if somebody had messaged me and been like, hey, I'll come over and like whatever.
Yeah. There's
a 50-50 chance I'd be like, yeah, come over, we'll watch
sure.
something.
Or no, I was just joking.
It was just
Twitter.
a tweet I put out.
You can send me stuff to watch.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually come over to share this news.
So, I don't know. It's such a weird time to grow up, because we've both grown up with the internet.
Yeah.
And I think it's been really interesting because the internet has been around since we've been alive, but we literally have kind of grown with it. It's been a presence, but it hasn't, like, YouTube wasn't around when we were born, you know?
Yeah.
YouTube was born and blew up over our lifetime.
But we've also seen in the past 4 or 5 years the validity of media slowly decline and just get so biased towards certain I guess, like, affiliations or just spreading fake news, false news. Fake news was not a term 10 years ago.
Right.
There was no such thing as that.
Yeah. Biases have always existed in news. Like, Fox News has probably always
been
pretty
conservative.
Republican.
CNN's always been pretty liberal. But the way that it's just continued to spread.
It's more divided now than ever.
In the past 5 years, it's just continued to, like, how can you trust certain things? And
like, God forbid, but imagine if a 9/11 level incident happened. I mean, it kind of does with shootings. Like, I think about the Las Vegas shooting. Or Stony Brook, or the one in Florida. What was that school?
It's not Highland Park, is it?
No, that's here.
Highland Park is here?
I think.
Oh, I forgot what it was called.
It's something like that.
Yeah, it was in,
like that
Boca
one
area.
But imagine if something like that happened, even more so, like the 9/11 level. Everybody, when that happened, I'm too young to remember where I was or what was going on. I think I was 5, maybe 4. I'm sure you probably
6
remember.
With 9/11.
Do you remember where you were?
I was in school. We got taken out of school.
Yeah,
I was in Florida and we were taken out of school.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was. Yeah,
everybody got sent home.
Well, people didn't know what was going on, and like, especially adults, or, you know, I remember watching videos in school about kids old enough to remember where they were, like watching the news on TV. If something like that were to happen today, sure, people would be doing that, but everybody would be on their phone. Like, a live stream of CNN would be on Twitter, and they'd be watching it here, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be very different.
It's way more immediate than you having to run home to turn on your television. You know, there's just so many more sources to get the info out.
Yeah. So,
with that being said, just tell the goddamn truth.
I feel like sometimes we approach these stories and we're like, let's teach people, like, or let's say something about it. I don't think what we have to say about them is ever something that other people don't think about.
Yeah, of course. We're not teaching anybody a lesson here. It's just stuff to be, I think, pointed out, and like, this is going to be criticized even more. Unfortunately, after, like, the wake of Kobe, like, that whole situation was handled really poorly. So he's under, whoever shared this article about Amari Cooper, you know, should receive, like, repercussions, you know, or tried to spread the news that wasn't real. Like, you need to lose your job for that. You know, that's going against all, like, the journalist way. You know,
there's this weird dynamic too, and we're coming up. We have like 5 minutes before an hour and a half.
Oh my god!
I'm okay with doing longer. Honestly, I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. It's
but I was looking at Whitney Cummings'
Good
podcast.
for you. Yeah.
And she does like 2-hour podcasts now, you know? Like, we're good.
We're fine. We're basically
right?
Whitney Cummings.
But I was thinking about this dynamic because we were looking at like some of like the Harry and Meghan stuff, talking about that potentially today. Talking about Pop Smoke, some other celebrity stories we could have. And there's this weird dynamic. We're so obsessed with the lives of celebrities. And part of me thinks that there needs to be the separation of like, let them have their private life, you know. Maybe Kobe's an exception, but even then, if somebody passes away, if somebody gets married, if somebody, you know, all these personal decisions that happen, the public is almost in on those decisions as they happen nowadays.
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword I feel like you take as a celebrity icon. You know, you understand that you're not going to have any privacy anymore.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, just let them have it for a second.
Sacrificing your privacy, yeah.
You know? At the same time, though, you know, you see, like, an actor that you think's cute in a movie, and you go, Florence Pugh boyfriend? Like,
question
it's
mark?
like, damn it, she's dating Zach Braff. Come on.
Zach Braff? Really?
Yeah. I hate it.
The age difference must be
a lot, and she's perfect.
Okay, I can tell this is personal for you.
Dude, that dream I was telling you about the other night?
Yeah.
I went and was talking to this girl that looked like Florence Pugh that wasn't Florence Pugh, but I don't know who it was. Like, it looked almost exactly like her, but it wasn't her, because I would have been like, oh, Florence, how's it going?
Yeah, what's up, Florence?
Anyway, hey, if you guys know, if anybody out there is listening and you know Florence Pugh,
20-year age difference. Zach Braff, you creepy son of a guy.
She what, 23?
She's 24. He's 44.
Yeah. Damn it. You know, that's why, hey, someday I'm going to be famous.
You're going to pull a Dane Cook?
I'm going to be Florence. Hey, I'm coming for you. It's really funny. I have one of my best friends. She lives out in LA, and she was born the day before Christmas. I was born the day after Christmas. We have a lot of similarities and like girls we're into and stuff like that. She's obsessed with Florence too.
Okay,
yeah.
So there's a common connection. It must
funny.
Be astrological.
Exactly.
Astrology.
We're both Capricorn, you know.
Total cap move there.
So we'll talk about our astrological signs a different time.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Because you're what?
I am a Sag, but a Gemini rising, apparently, and I don't know,
Do you know your
any of
moon?
that means. No. I refuse to learn my moons.
I forget exactly what your moon. I think is more important than rising.
Hey Siri, what's my moon?
It's not going to tell you your moon, because your sun is how you appear to other people. I forget exactly what it is. One's how you appear to other people. One's how you see yourself, and one of them.
Virgo moon. Just cut you.
We'll talk about it another time. We're almost to an hour and a half, so we're not going to get into our signs. If you want to hear us talk about them, let us know. Nice burp, dude.
Thanks, man. It's always got to make its way into a podcast.
Yeah, we've been on some tangents today, man.
It's been fun. I thought it's been fun.
Dude, I can't wait to shave this beard off. Ooh, I just had a small heart attack.
Oh, you're safe though, right? Too much caffeine.
No, it's just like I stretched. I think my muscle just pulled in a weird way. I forget what I was gonna say. Whatever, fuck it.
He's got to shave his beard, but there's going to be a connecting thread. And
we're doing a sketch tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, a sketch tomorrow involving said beard.
Yeah, we were gonna film it last week, and then we realized it was gonna take too long to film. So
we did not have a proper plan, so that's why we got to focus on planning.
Dude, I got a piece so bad right now. We got to end this shit.
Rock, paper, scissors. Who goes to the bathroom first?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, yes!
You can all end the podcast.
All right. I'm going to go pee. I love everybody. I'll see everybody later.
Say goodbye, Jack.
Yep, bye.
All right, guys. I'm ending it. Have fun, man.
I will.
All right. Well, if you are listening at this point, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. We're almost coming up on a half year of podcasting together. So if you aren't already, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. I think Twitter, The Real Jack and Trev, we're going to start putting podcast highlights on there. Instagram, we put up our sketches and random posts, stuff like that, and Facebook the same. Follow us on there. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. Jack and Trevor, I think we're really following through on this 250 subscriber shave our head thing by the end of March. We got to put a video out on it. So share, tell your friends. Otherwise, thank you for listening. We'll catch you guys next. See, this is why I can't do it by myself. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. This has been That's Not News. I've been Trevor. He's been Jack. I can hear him peeing right now. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.